Okay, so today we are going to look at the discipline of sociology. So it's the introduction to sociology. Sociology is basically the study of the society. So that's what we're going to look at. So in this lesson, I'm going to explain to you what sociology is, right? And the importance of sociology. Why do we do sociology? Why do we study sociology? So, sociology, right. The term sociology was coined by one of the fathers of sociology called Auguste Comte. He was a French man who lived from 1798 to 1857. And it was coined in the year 1838 from the Latin terms socius and logos or logia. So it's from socius. It's important for us to know the etymologies of these words. Socius and logos. So it is the bastardizing or the combination of socius and logos, which helped him to come up with the word sociology. So socius means a companionate or companion or an associate. Then logos or logia, it means a study of. So in one way or the other, and in simpler terms, sociology is the study of the society. So the etymological or literal definition of sociology is that it is the word or speaking about the society. Hence, a simple definition of sociology is the study of the society and its culture. You get the sense? So, formally or a more formal definition may be that it is a social science. Why do we call it a social science? It is a social science because it studies processes and patterns of human, individual, and group interaction, the forms of organization of social groups, the relationship among them, and group influences as well. So some would rather call it the scientific study of the society, because sociology became prominent in the, I would rather say 18th century, 19th century. At that time, subjects especially in Latin-speaking areas. Number one, number two, even Greece, Plato, Archimedes. Natural sciences, talk of mathematics, physics, chemistry, all those sciences, all those common sciences. So sometimes when we are studying sociology, we derive inspiration from those natural sciences. That's why sociology is also seen as a social science. You get the sense? It is also seen as a social science. It is the study of the society. So sociology can be dealt with at a personal level, or I would rather say, again, at a societal level or at a global level. So society is seen, sociology is seen as dealing with the individual, number one, and the society he or she lives in. You get the sense? Because at personal level, sociology investigates the social causes and consequences of such things as romance, love, racial and gender identity, family conflict, and also deviant behavior. It also looks at age. It also touches on religious faith. Because when you touch on religious faith, it might be an individual preference as well. It can be termed as an individual preference. So society in this regard comes in and analyze the actions of an individual. Then at a societal level, there are what we call social institutions or social structures that we're supposed to deal. At social levels, sociology examines and explains matters like crime and law. Society looks at issues like poverty, because poverty in most cases does not affect one person, it affects the society depending with the income levels of that society. So it also looks at wealth because in this regard, the opposite of poverty is wealth. It also looks at issues like racism, prejudice and discrimination. It also looks at education, that's sociology for you, business, marketing, issues to do with urban community and social movements. Then at a larger scale, at a global level, it now looks at population growth, migration, war and peace as well as development. So in short, sociology touches on most aspects of life. So even if it's reviews much on the society, it also helps us to argue that this society or the social structure of any society has a link or has a relationship with its economy and the politics as well. So there are basic concepts that you have to look at, tools to think about, like the society. Number one, the society is humanly created organization or systems of interrelationships that connects individuals in a common culture and all the products of human interaction, the experience of living with others around us too. So under the society, there are also components of the society which we are supposed to look at and maybe in the next chapters, and these include language, right? Language is part of the society. Language is also part and parcel of the culture, because when you talk about the culture is a set of traditions, rules, symbols, and are enacted as feelings, thoughts, and behaviors of groups of people. And you know, people who share the same culture in one way or the other, they also share common norms, they also share the same values, they also share the same belief. For example, that's the same norm. That's the same value. You believe in the same things, right? So that's where values come through, and values, it's all about ideas people share about what is good, what is bad, what is undesirable. And we also have norms, like I said, and that's what entails what we call social organization. It's that simple, right? So it's a matter of social structure as well. So let us look at one of the most important aspects when you are studying sociology. I have the notes here by Chota. They are very good notes. There's what we call sociological imagination. There's what we call sociological imagination. That's where we talk of sociological paradigms. Right. When you're talking about sociological imagination, we are trying to understand everything in the society from a sociological point of view. What am I saying? If we see a rise in teenage pregnancies, we blame the society. If we see a rise in inflation, we blame the society as well. Like everything is attributed to the society and its structures. That's why I said you cannot separate sociology and politics or the economy. So when you talk about sociological imagination, we are using what we call sociological lenses to explain everything. That's where the two paradigms come through. There's also what we call structuralism. There's what we call structuralism in sociology, and there's also what we call interpretivism. Right. So the theorists who support structuralism are the ones who really say the society controls everything. There's this top sociologist in the name of Emil Durkheim. Emil Durkheim called about the suicide aspect, the suicide factor. He said that if someone commits suicide, if we are using a sociological imagination, we cannot blame that person. We blame the society for neglecting that person. Because it's a long process. After 6 months, that's why we to my university, there are people who are trained to deal with such instances. Because when we are educated like this, or when we are educating each other like this, we believe that the problems are caused by the what? By the society. So if someone commits suicide, we blame society for neglecting that person. The society was supposed to care, so has to protect the life. So that's what we call structuralism. The structures of the society controls everything. That's why we cannot wewe vanhu vanokujudge zvichikuenderana nekuti uri kubva kupi. Ukatondibvunza ndogara kupi ndobva ndandogara mumbara unotanga kutoti ratouya Zimbabwe rada kutondisicha mana. And you get the sense. That's what we call structuralism. The structure of Mbare. Inoita kuti vanhu vatofunga kuti ndo zvautori. So society ndo inotoshipa vanhu. No, that's what they say, these structuralists. Then we have interpretivism. Interpretivism says, no, the people in the society shape the society. Kuti society zozikanwa kuti iyi bholo ndiyobhuku munopisa, munogara ngwere. It is because ngwere dzacho dzirimo imomo. So it's a matter of understanding zvichienderana nekuti uri kushandisa nenyengo ipi. So sociological imagination, it's all about viewing the society from various angles. I hope this one is clear. And also blaming everything on the society, you know. It's all about the point of view, the perspective. You know, you can be a good person. You can be a good person doing very well. But in someone's story, you are a bad image. Because that person will be using what we call the biased lenses. So when you are studying the society, we are simply analyzing it from a sociological perspective. So it makes us easy to understand this discipline. When we use those sociological paradigms, when you use sociological imagination as coined by Wright Mills in 1959. So let us round up by looking at the importance of sociology. Why do we study sociology? That's the last part. Why do we study sociology? Number one, sociology helps us to understand how human behavior is shaped by the group or society. And sociologists, you know, they are concerned by the relationship between the micro and the macro. Micro is all about at the smaller scale involving individual. Then macro is now involving bigger things like the groups, like the organization, like the cultures. So it also helps us to understand how individuals shape the society, and it offers what we call a sociological imagination, and it also helps us to predict in order to control. The sociologists, right, help people to predict what will happen in the future. So sociologists anogona kuuya munzvimbo ongoanalyza kana kwevana ava anokwanisa kutokuudza kuti in the 10 years dziri kuteera pachaka padai. You get the sense. So they also help by providing a means of increasing our cultural sensitivities. And in terms of human resource management, sociology helps managers to be able to formulate appropriate policies that are acceptable within certain cultures. You get the sense. And sociology is also a solution of social problems. Remember I said there are some social problems we can talk of. There's issues like hunger, issues like poverty, issues like crime, issues like unemployment. It is the duty of sociologists to analyze the root cause of all those problems and also try to find out the solutions to those problems. So it is important to help in the concept of cultural relativism. Cultural relativism is all about appreciating other cultures. So that's when the aspect of tolerance also comes through. You have to understand that, for example, in Zimbabwe, we just don't have the Shona only. We have the Ndebele, we have the Venda, we have the Tonga. So sociology helps us to appreciate that, to appreciate all those people. Also remember that Zimbabwe is also a multi-religious society. We don't have Christians only. We have the Muslims, we have those who believe in the African traditional religions, we have the Hindus. So we also have to tolerate them in as much as sociology is concerned. And again, sociology has changed human outlook about human culture, and it has enriched human culture, and it also lastly promotes what we call critical thinking. It helps us to think, to dig deep when it comes to our thinking. Right, so that's it for this lesson. I'm sure in the next lesson, we will look at detail, the sociological perspectives in detail. But before we go into that, we have to look at the historical development of sociology. How did sociology come about? What were the factors which contributed to the realization of sociology?